Welcome to Whose Identity Is It Anyway? Criminal Edition. This is Legendary Tactics. So in the first of this multi-part series, we're going to begin by taking a closer look at the criminal faction in Android Netrunner, and we're going to focus in our interest into Gabriel Santiago. Now, Gabe is a pioneer in the criminal faction because he came with the core deck. When you take a closer look at the criminal faction, we are talking about money, we're talking about gaining it, and we're talking about the corp losing it, or, just as importantly, spending more of it. So who is this Gabriel Santiago? Well, Gabriel Santiago, the consummate professional, is a cyborg identity. And the first time that Gabe makes a successful run on the headquarters HQ each turn, the runner gains $2. Now, he does come with 0 link, but that is not going to stop him. I find Gabe one of the best runner identities still that holds up extremely well, even with all the other runners out there, and here is exactly why. So your game plan. The game plan with Gabe is pretty straightforward. My general rule of thumb when I'm using Gabe is to keep constant and complete pressure on the corp from a money and a monetary perspective. You want to keep them broke as long and as efficiently as possible. You don't want to give them any chance to get any kind of monetary momentum going. A broke corp means that rezzing ice becomes extremely difficult or very, very costly. It also means scoring agendas is a very challenging ordeal. This is what you want to do with Gabe. So, what cards do you want to absolutely have in a Gabe deck that tries to accomplish this? Well, let's take a look at the must-haves. So, we are going to look at the top 5 must-haves with Gabriel Santiago, starting with number 5, Special Orders. So, the Special Order card is an event card, which allows you to search your deck or your stack for an icebreaker. You reveal it and then you add it to your grip, reshuffling your stack. This allows that if a corp has been able to res a piece of ice in front of you, or on their side, then you can counter with any of the icebreakers that you require. We're going to get into different icebreakers in a little bit, but for now, having Special Order in there allows for the flexibility of you being able to bring that exact breaker that you're looking for and not having to mill your deck too significantly. So that's Special Order, definitely a must-have in the Gabe deck. Going to number 4, we have Inside Job. Now, if you're not able to get a Special Order right away, the Inside Job also accomplishes what Special Order would. Whereas, especially early game, if you have an Inside Job, you're hopping that first piece of ice, and you are able to run HQ, get your money, paying for Inside Job, but more importantly then, getting some excellent potential combos and using Inside Job in a combo situation with other cards in your deck. That synergy is very important. Okay, let's move on to number 3 here. The third most important card in a Gabe deck is Emergency Shutdown, which is exactly why we had Inside Job in there. Okay, so Emergency Shutdown is a sabotage card. The text reads that it play only if you made a successful run on HQ this turn, and you will DE-REZ a piece of ice. So this is an amazing card because it plays on a lot of different levels. 1, early game, if the corp is able to res a piece of ice, it's moderately costly. You are able to de-res that ice in concert with Inside Job or Special Orders, and you are draining more of the corp's income onto resing the ice. The beautiful part is, especially if it's ice they can't get rid of or they don't want to get rid of, that ice it's there, and you will be able to then counter with either icebreakers or Inside Jobs as required. So emergency shutdown, a great monetary drain on the corp. Loving it. That's number 3. Number 2, Desperado. So the absolute most important console, definitely for the runner identity of Gabe, is to have Desperado. Okay, a very critical console. It gives you 1 memory bonus. You gain $1 when making a successful run, any successful run, all the time. And so your first HQ run then will gain you $3 with those two combined. And now it doesn't give you any link. No, it doesn't give you any link, but it does give you that extra memory chip. So the last card that in number 1 on my absolute must-haves for Gabriel Santiago may or may not come as a surprise to you, but it is Account Siphon. Another run event. It's a sabotage event, and it says that when you make a run on HQ, if successful, instead of accessing cards, you may force the corp to lose up to 5 credits. Then you gain 2 for each credit, and you take 2 tags. So the 2 tags can be troubling. However, keeping the corp nice and broke means that you are going to mitigate any damage that corp can really do, even if it is on a run that is close to the end. You having tags in this game is not too critical with Gabriel Santiago, unless of course they have something like that Wayland card, the name escapes me, that will actually give you a lot of meat damage. So you do want to have cards in hand to mitigate, and you do want to erase your tags if you cannot possibly help it. But Account Siphon, run it often, run it regularly, and that is one way you're going to keep that corp nice and broke. You're going to keep yourself nice and rich. Okay, now there is an honorary mention that I do want to bring up with these cards. It's a neutral card, and it is Same Old Thing. So Same Old Thing is going to allow you to replay again and again. Siphon, Emergency Shutdown, or Inside Job. You can keep bringing these back and keep replaying them as you need to. Okay, and just to remind us that Inside Job does allow you to bypass the first ice encountered during this run. So if they do manage to get a large piece of ice up, you can use that Inside Job to skip it and move along to the next piece of ice if they have any. So those are my top 5 must-have cards with Gabriel Santiago, with the bonus honorary mention of Same Old Thing, which I would definitely splash 3 of those in as well. You want to keep those Same Old Things, recycling cards, especially Siphon, and keep draining the finances of the corp. Now, let's look at some splashes you want to add into this as well. There are 2 main splashes that I would highly recommend you add into your deck. And again, this is all about recycling. So the 2 cards that I have are LEVY AR Lab Access. Okay, reading the text on this, it's an event card, and it says that you shuffle your grip and heap into a stack. You draw 5 cards, and you remove LEVY from access from the game instead of trashing it. So it is a one-time use, but you get to recycle all your cards. Okay, it does cost 3 points to add into your deck, but with a few of those splashed in, you are going to get some good mileage out of your deck, especially with the Same Old Things thrown in there to complement it. You are going to be able to run many siphons at the corp. The last one, and this one is more strictly for milling deck and getting to cards you really need, is Professional Contacts. So Professional Contacts allows you, it does cost 5, but it allows you to gain $1 and draw a card simultaneously. So you are doing 2 things at once, and you're getting through your deck while also gaining more money. You are going to be needing to spend money because you're going to need to be getting up your programs, especially your icebreakers, and your other event cards that you want to run. For example, Inside Job, Special Orders, those all cost money. And of course, one of the icebreakers I would recommend that you'd put in is Femme Fatale. especially if you're playing like an HB deck, which has large ice. You could put Fem on there, and you can mitigate at least one of the large pieces of ice that the Corp has active. And then, of course, run your emergency shutdown to shut that sucker right back down again. Continually running the Siphon at them to drain money. So, in conclusion, Gabriel Santiago, a very solid runner deck. We're talking about draining the resources, particularly the financial resources of the Corp, keeping them broke, keeping them desperate, and at that, if you keep them low enough, they won't be able to res ice. You will have unabated access to HQ. You'll have unabated access to R&D, even archives, and as long as you keep them under 4, snares are useless. There are it is just a punishing game if you can pull off Gabriel Santiago in the appropriate way. I highly, highly recommend looking at Gabriel Santiago. So if you enjoyed this quick walkthrough of Gabriel Santiago, don't forget to like, subscribe, and please look for more runner and corp identities to coming in the near future. Now, if you have another 4 or 5 other cards or cards that you disagree with in my 5, please comment below, let me know, and please give me your Gabe strategies. I'd love to hear them. And thanks for watching. This has been Legendary Tactics.